got Bowers. Bowers. Got that. Touchdown. Brock Bowers. Down the middle. Guess who? Brock Bowers.
What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel and you would like to support the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers, and please like this video so we can get at least to 200 likes. Well, Raider Nation, the NFL draft is finally over, and I couldn't be any more happier for the Raiders for the draft we went. Yes, I know we didn't go get a quarterback in the first round, but we sure as hell didn't reach for any players. We got the best player available in each round, and it really starts all in the first round. I'm not gonna lie, I was very shocked when the Raiders went ahead and selected Brock Bowers with their first round pick. But nevertheless, if you have been studying Tom Telesco's draft history, you know he likes to draft the best available player in each round. You know, in the past, he has drafted guys like Keenan Allen, Derwin James, when in fact he didn't need to. But nevertheless, he gets the best player available. And if you look at the Chargers roster, they have been set for a championship run for years to come. So I would like to believe that the Raiders did a hell of a job in this year's draft. We went and got plenty of players. We went ahead and filled plenty of holes that the Raiders needed. You know, we needed an offensive tackle. We went and got him in the third round, and not just any slouch. We got the fourth, fifth, some people even say one of the better pass blocking tackles in all of the draft. Yes, I know he ain't no Joe Ott or Fuaga, but nevertheless, this guy graded at a 90 plus overall grade as a pass blocker. And we went ahead and got the best center in the whole draft. We got Jackson Powers Johnson, a center / guard out of the University of Oregon. And I couldn't be any more happier. He's going to be a day one starter coming in, and he is exactly what it is to be a Raider. He brings his lunch pail every day. He's a blue collar worker. He is exactly what it is to be a Raider. And I love all these players that the Raiders went ahead and drafted. It is exactly the type of players that Coach Antonio Pierce wants. You could totally tell that these players all exemplify exactly what Coach Antonio Pierce is building. He all got hard-nosed football players on our team. You know, just look at Brock Bowers. Yes, I know that wasn't in need. By far, it was not a need. We drafted Michael Mayer last year in the second round, and he's going to be a great tight end for years to come. But you just couldn't pass up Brock Bowers. I believe he will be the best tight end in a few years. You know, Travis Kelce is soon to retire. George Kittle is soon to retire in about 3 to 4 years. And I believe we might have the best 1-2 tandem in tight ends for years to come. We might have one of the best ever tight end tandems in the NFL history. So was it a need? Absolutely not. It was a luxury pick, and right now we couldn't afford a luxury pick because we needed a quarterback. But like I was saying all offseason, Raider Nation, I didn't want the Raiders to reach for a quarterback. Let the quarterbacks come to us. If Michael Penix was available at 13, I would have no problem drafting him. But he went 8th overall to the Atlanta Falcons, which they didn't need. They went ahead and signed Kirk Cousins this offseason. You know, so that was a head scratcher in itself. I was not expecting the Falcons to go ahead and get Michael Penix. But nevertheless, when the Raiders were up at 13, I didn't believe there was any quarterbacks that were worth taking. Spencer Rattler, he ended up going in the 4th or 5th round. So like I said, Raider Nation, I am fine with the Raiders getting Brock Bowers. Initially, I was a little bit upset. I wanted us to go get a tackle. Shoot, maybe even a corner. Mitchell was out there still. Terrion Arnold was still out there. So I was expecting one of those guys to come off the board and come to the Raiders. But nevertheless, you just can't have enough offensive weapons on the offensive side of the ball. And what Brock Bowers brings to this team is a lot. He can play in the slot. He could be a tight end. He can even be H-back. And the something that I love about him is that he's a great blocker. He doesn't need to work on his blocking like Michael Mayer did last year. This guy is a blocker from day one. So for the people saying that, you know, we needed a tackle on the right side of the ball, shoot, I believe Jackson Powers Johnson is going to be our starting right guard from day one. And if Thayer Munford needs help on that right side of the ball, go ahead and put Brock Bowers on that right side of the ball and let him help out and chip block all day long. And I believe we're just going to have a good enough offensive line for Luke Getsy. You know, Luke Getsy likes to run RPOs. He loves to run a 2 tight end set. So I believe that was a pickup to fill Luke Getsy's offensive scheme. I absolutely love this pick. You know, another person that benefited was Zamir White. He's going to have plenty of running holes, running lanes to run down. And like I said, we drafted the 2 best players at the top of their position in Brock Bowers, the best tight end, and Jackson Powers Johnson. I believe he's the best guard, the best center in this year's draft, and he's going to be a Pro Bowler for years to come. You know, another player that we drafted that I'm excited about is DJ Glaze. You know, he is one of the better pass blocking tackles in the draft, and he can play the left side, he can play the right tackle. So that's another player that I'm excited to have. You know, you can never have enough versatility on the offensive line. It's a long season and someone's bound to get injured, and if someone gets injured, we have plenty of guys to plug in and play, and I couldn't be more excited for this offensive line. As of right now, you know, we have Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, and it looks like we're rolling with them to start this year. It's going to be a battle to see who's going to be the starter, but nevertheless, I believe they both have the weapons to start. They should have no problem getting the ball to their weapons. I believe they're going to have a clean pocket with Colton Miller, with Dylan Parham, with Andre James, and now with Jackson Powers Johnson. That's the guy I'm mostly excited about because we needed to shore up that right side offensive line, and I believe we sure as hell did that with Jackson. And another player that we just can't forget about is our 4th round pick, Cameron Richardson. He's a cornerback from the University of Mississippi State, and he's another short tackler. You know, that's something that if you look at our cornerback room, that's something that they all bring to the table. They all know how to tackle, from Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs, Jacorian Bennett, and now Richardson. And if you look at his stats, he led his team in tackles the last 2 years. Now, that's not really known for a cornerback to do that. So that tells you that he's not scared to play the run. He's not scared to run up and make some tackles. And that's another type of player that Antonio Pierce likes. You can totally tell by all the players we got, they're all Antonio Pierce types players. Just look at our 5th round pick in Eckenberg, another short tackler, linebacker. Yes, I know he's not a great pass coverage linebacker, but he sure as hell can play the run. He could fill those holes and tackle when need be. So in all, I love this Raiders draft. Like I was saying, Raider Nation, you could totally tell the type of players we brought. These are all Antonio Pierce type of players, all smash mouth, all bring your lunch pail to work type of players. I believe Antonio Pierce is building a Raider culture like we were in the 80s. And I believe the players that we brought in all fit the mold. They're not cocky. They're not swaggy. They're all here to play ball. And that I'm really excited. I can't wait for the season to come this next year. I believe that we added enough players to make a playoff run. Now, we all know the AFC is going to be tough. You know, it's going to be a battle to see who comes out on top to be our quarterback. I'll come out with a video this week to let you know who I feel is going to be the quarterback starting day one. But nevertheless, Raider Nation, I love these Raiders draft picks. You know, if you look at the grades, we have been getting nothing less than a B. Shoot, I've been even seeing a lot of A's on these draft grades. But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter what they think. These players have to perform. You know, who cares? We couldn't even get an F and it wouldn't matter because these players have to perform. You know, all it is trajectory, and it really doesn't matter right now. So let's see if we got the right players, if they fit our scheme. I personally think they do. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about these players. Were you upset that the Raiders weren't able to move up and trade up and get a quarterback? Like I was saying all offseason, the Washington Commanders weren't willing to give up that 2nd overall pick. And Tom Telesco came out and said he wasn't willing to move up after those 2 top quarterbacks were taken. So let me know in the comments what you think about this Raiders draft picks. Let me know how you feel about Brock Bowers, about Jackson Powers Johnson, and the fact that we didn't get Michael Penix. And like this video, and if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, Raider Nation. And until next time, peace.